Should I go into strength and conditioning? This is a question I get asked often by my own athletes or young students, athletes online. And it's a very difficult question for me to answer because while I absolutely love my job and I love physical preparation, it is a very difficult industry with a lot of issues. And so people need to understand that before they get into it. First, I absolutely recommend that people go into a field that they are passionate about. I think it makes it a lot easier to continue to educate yourself. You're going to enjoy going to work every single day, and I think it is just going to lead to a happier life overall. At the same time, you do have to think long term about the kind of life that you want to have and how you value your time. The issue with strength and conditioning is that so many people get into it because of passion. And because of that, they're often willing to work a ton of hours for very little pay. And this devalues everybody else in the industry. First is pay. Look at any open Division I strength conditioning position right now, and you will be very underwhelmed with the pay. You are also going to work a lot more hours than are listed there, and you'll notice that the requirements are still pretty heavy, from master's degree, CSCS, and a ton of experience, all for you to make less than somebody who doesn't even have a college degree in a different field. The problem is that we have people that are chomping at the bit to take those jobs. And so they are not going to spend a ton more on somebody else. That's just the unfortunate reality. Now, some of the professional leagues pay well, like the NFL, but even some of the other ones like the MLB, the NHL, the NBA, the pay really isn't that great relative to the time that you have to put in and what everybody else in the organization is making. So I understand that you love the field, but at some point you have to ask yourself, do you love your time? Do you love your family? Do you love yourself? Are you being valued properly? And this is why you'll see so many coaches leave the field, go into sales, or go and do something completely different because it's very hard for them to get true value for their expertise and their experience. Next, the people that hire you, the administrators, athletic directors, really don't have an objective way to measure your performance or whether or not you are a successful strength and conditioning coach. They don't know that much about the field, number one. And at the end of the day, what they care most about is raising money for the school and if the team is winning. So you could be an amazing strength and conditioning coach, but if your team has a losing record for 3 years, you are one of the people that are likely going to get blamed. And if you are the S&C for a football team and that team is not good for 3 years, the head coach will get fired and usually the entire staff will get fired along with them. So the other issue then is stability. You are going to be uprooting your entire life and your family constantly, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, getting fired, moving, and you just have to ask yourself if that's the life that you want to have. Next, everybody thinks that they're going to work in the NFL. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you are not going to get one of those jobs by just applying to it and not knowing anybody within the organization. Typically, the head coach is going to pick their own staff. So if you want to end up in the NFL one day, you better be attached to a coach that is going to get one of those jobs. And likely what that means is you are going to have to go GA somewhere, make almost no money, and hope that at some point down the line, one of the coaches that you worked for is going to have an opportunity in the NFL. And even then, they might get fired after 1 year and then you're out of a job again. Now, the last piece here is the private sector. People want to open a gym. Everybody wants to own their own gym. There are a ton of pros and cons to that, but just know that the gym business is one of the ones where the majority of people are going to fail. So there's a ton of capital required up front, and it's very difficult to sustain it long term. However, what you do have now is the internet and social media, which is the great equalizer. This goes for somebody that works at a college, you work at a high school, or you have your own gym. I might recommend that you just rent space out of somebody else's gym and let them worry about the overhead and the insurance and the equipment, the taxes and everything else that comes along with that. And you kind of just grow your in-person business and grow an online business. But I do suggest that most people try to start doing something online because it is going to help you make money when you're not working. And the biggest issue with our industry, people that own gyms or people that work in gyms, is we sell time for money. But there's only so much time in a day, and eventually you're gonna hit a ceiling. The internet allows you to kind of break past that ceiling, so it is good to have in your arsenal. So if you want to get into this field, you need to consider these things, and you need to make sure that my suggestion is that you make sure that you know what you're getting into. I often tell people maybe you should just go into physical therapy, occupational therapy, physician assistant, chiropractic. There's a little bit more stability there, and that is what more people are looking for. But if this is your dream and you know this is what you want to do and you don't care about all those statistics, then go for it.